Just when everyone rallies behind the Rams and declare them as the lone elite team in the NFL, well, the Carolina Panthers happen. Keep pounding. Locked On NFL Scouting starts now.
You are Locked On NFL Scouting with the Draft Dudes, your daily podcast for NFL and college football scouting. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's better than this? It's guys being dudes here on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network. We're the Draft Dudes. I'm Joe Marino from Locked On Bills. He's Kyle Crabbs from Locked On Dolphins, and we are your NFL experts here with you daily to talk team building across the league on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast with the Draft Dudes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Want to issue a big thank you, shout out, and welcome to our everydayers. Those of you who never miss a single episode, we appreciate y'all being here very, very much. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase.
Joe, happy Victory Monday to all who are celebrating. You and I uniquely celebrating Victory Mondays.
We did it. We did it, Kyle.
I didn't think we were going to get too many of these this year, but you play them all, you see what happens, and we played a whole bunch of games in Week 13. We're going to react to all of them here today on the program, and as Joe mentioned, the Carolina Panthers and their stunning upset and offensive romp really against the Rams is one of the main storylines out of this week. We're going to talk about the AFC South race. We're going to talk about the NFC West race. We're going to talk about the AFC North race, which is uniquely interesting in its own right. But we start with Carolina, who puts up big-time offensive numbers. Tyrod McMillan with a big explosive play.
4th and 2.
On 4th and 2, that's right. That drops the Rams into a coagulation of 4 9-win teams as of December 1st at the top of the NFC conference. That 1-seed race is going to be really interesting.
It sure is, man. And everybody, including myself, anointed the Rams last week. And you're so impressed, right? You're so impressed. They're 9-2. They have the NFL MVP in Matthew Stafford. They have an amazing defense with young talent and 2 first-round picks and $95 million in cap space. And while all of that's probably still true, what a disappointing performance to go into Carolina and lose this football game. And really what it comes down to is the mistakes that the Rams made. Stafford throws, back-to-back interceptions?
Yeah, he hadn't thrown picks all year, right?
None. He used to 2 in the first quarter or something like that, including a pick 6 to Mike Jackson. They have the fumble when they have a chance. Derek Brown, great play, right? They have a chance to go win the game. They can't even really get going. The big 4th and 2 by Carolina. The Rams made a lot of mistakes. Credit to Carolina Panthers. They pounced and got it done. And that's a big win. For as much as we do want to talk about the top of the NFC and how compelling it is right now, the Bears are the #1 seed. The Bears and the Patriots are #1 seeds. Look at their schedules. They've had the least difficult schedules in the league. But
why'd you do that?
Because Kyle, because I have to. Here's the turn your program around starter kit. #1 is a quarterback entering their second year. That's really, really promising.
Yep. With a head coaching change.
But you got to get the good ones, right? You got to get Ben Johnson and Mike Vrabel, and then you feast on a last place schedule and you win a bunch of games. But the Panthers, I'm not trying to take anything away from them. They're 7-6. They're highly inconsistent. You know what I mean? They can lose to the Saints one week and get smoked by the Bills one week and then come back and beat the Falcons and Rams. They're so high variance, but they're in position right now going into their bye with a 4-game season with 2 left to go against the Bucs. They're right there in the race for the NFC South.
Yeah, with the exception of, you talk about Carolina and how inconsistent they are. The book has generally been they're very good at home and they don't travel well. Now they got smoked by the Bills in Carolina, which looked like an outlier game. But then they lose to New Orleans as well at the beginning of November. So even the norms of home and away, it's a team that you never really know what you're going to get. But you win the turnover battle, like you said, 3-0. And Stafford's in a position to go on a game-winning drive. They get a 3rd and 10 in scoring territory, and you strip Matthew Stafford on a strip sack, and that decides the game, right? So credit to Carolina for that's. There's been a number of opportunities this season for their defense to close out games, and their defense has done it. Think about the Miami game. Think about the Packers game. Think about the Falcons game that was a close game. Think about the Rams game this game. Like their defense has bowed up in some big moments in one-score games. I mean, Dallas was a 30-27 win too.
Yeah, they got to stop and set up a game-winning drive. They got a 3-and-out. A tie game, they get a 3-and-out against Dallas, give the ball back to their offense, go 15 plays, 71 yards, and win the game at the end.
Yeah.
That's a great call-out. I mean.
And so that defense, it was a little rough the first couple weeks, right? They gave up 26, 27, and 42 in 3 of the first 4 weeks of the year with all the new players and new pieces. But it has come together a little bit and some big moments, and you've given up some points in some of these games, and the offense, it's complementary football is not great for Carolina, but it shows you what the talent level of the roster is capable of doing right now.
Yeah, and I think we got to be more mindful of teams with a lot of new stuff and what that looks like early in the year.
I'm very mindful of it.
Yeah, I know you are. But there's how many examples can we point to? I mean, you look at Houston's offense in some ways.
Yeah. But then you get Seattle. Like Seattle with new quarterback, new offensive coordinator, whole bunch of new offensive linemen, brand new top 3 wide receiver room, with the exception of the guy that was the 3 is now the 1.
Well, is the lesson to be learned there that if it starts good, great. But if it starts poorly, don't write it off if everything's new.
Yeah. These things take time, and we live in a microwave society where you're expected to just trade for the player on Madden, and your overall team rating goes up 3 points, and you see it and feel it immediately. And that's not reality.
Panthers have a bye at New Orleans, 2 against Tampa, and home against Seattle.
Yeah.
And Tampa's, they still have quite a bit to do themselves. They're 7-5, so are they a game up, if I'm not mistaken?
Half a game up.
Half a game up. New Orleans, Atlanta, 2 against Carolina, and in Miami. So the Dolphins will play a big role here in deciding the winner of the South potentially. Yeah,
and a lot of division matchups, and it certainly feels like a lot of these races are constructed that way. Yeah. Where I know we're going to talk in segment 2 about the AFC South, but I want to leave that one there. But man, you want to talk about the matchups that division has against each other still.
All of them.
I mean, it's all there's not going to be an unmeaningful game played down the stretch. You want to talk in a couple games that maybe we could hit quickly, like 49ers Browns? You tuck this one in here?
Yeah.
Be strategic.
It's a pretty uneventful game. I think Shador, what's that?
I said Myles Garrett's a freak, dude. See the rush he had on Trent Williams where a Euro stepped inside on him?
Yeah, got him.
Oh, my God.
I guess the game kind of went the way you thought it would. Kind of boring, low event. I think to Shador's credit, again, he somewhat mitigates risk, which I think is important. I'm going to have to take a big L on Harold Fannin, though. That's my big takeaway. I know the Steelers or the 49ers won 26-8, but Harold Fannin looks like he can go. The other big thing here is let's stop using tight ends
for tush pushes.
Harold Fannin, Tyler Warren fumbles it, Cade Stover. That's off the top of my head. That's 3 that I saw.
Yeah. But, it's become such a central piece of the game is the short yardage conversions, and not a lot of guys that got quarterbacks who could squat 600 pounds, right? So it's like, how do we get it? Well, let's try something else.
short yardage in the NFL is getting crazy, but important win for the 9-4 49ers, like you said.
Just keep ticking, man. And I would agree with the assessment that San Francisco this season is the best work that we've gotten from Kyle Shanahan. Would you agree with that?
Oh, by far. I think he's got a heck of a case for Coach of the Year. I know that Ben Johnson and Mike Vrabel are there, but the injuries at key positions, Fred Warner. Your starting quarterback, Fred Warner and Nick Bosa. Yeah. Come on, man. All your receivers are hurt the whole season. That's an impressive job.
Dude, they come out of the bye. They get Tennessee after the bye. They'd be a 10-win team this year at a minimum. So they have a bye. You go 2-2, you're making the playoffs, right?
I think I'd be really surprised if 11 wins doesn't get you in. I'd be very surprised.
So they have Titans at Colts, home against Bears, home against Seahawks to close the season. San Francisco does.
Big ones. Manageable. All right, we got a lot more to do. We'll focus on the AFC South. The Colts fading, the Texans rising. We'll get into that here next, folks. Be sure to stick with us. The World Cup is coming back to North America for the first time since 1994, and with 48 teams for the first time ever, it's going to be massive. But let's be honest, getting tickets is usually the hardest part. That's why the Game Time app is clutch, finally giving fans a real advantage when it comes to snagging seats. With Game Time, you can track price drops in real time, get alerts when great seats open, and buy tickets the moment they hit the app. It puts the power back in your hands and makes going to the World Cup realistic instead of impossible. The Seat View feature is a game changer. You literally see what the pitch looks like from your exact seat before you buy, and prices include fees up front, which I love. There's no last-second surprises at checkout, and alerts for teams and matches make it easy to grab tickets the moment they drop instead of missing out. So take the guesswork out of buying World Cup tickets and every match, concert, or event with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, download the app, make an account, use code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go, Game Time.
I think my favorite thing about the AFC South is you have a team that has scored 170 points thus far this season, and you also have a team that scored 357 points this season in the same bucket, having played the same amount of games. You also have the only team left in the NFL that has given up less than 200 points defensively this season. And these are all different teams.
Yeah, it's fun, right? It's a fun race.
It's 170 versus 357 for points scored is the largest chasm of two teams in the league. Houston's 198. Tennessee's close. But they're not the Bengals, who have given up 374 points thus far this season. And it's December 1st.
Colts have lost 3 out of 4, man.
They're in trouble.
Yeah, very much so. They've rushed for less than 90 yards in those 3 losses. They ran for 1,000,000 yards against the Falcons, but that's kind of turtled up on them a little bit. They're losing the turnover battle. Daniel Jones is getting sacked. He's playing with a broken leg. In some ways, I think you can feel that. They started really hot. I mean, they started 7-1, and things have turned not for the better. And that's the challenge of an NFL season. Is there's so much attrition, there's so many problems that you have to solve on the fly, and sustaining it year over year is one conversation. But even in a season, you know, it can be challenging, and it's still right there for the Colts. But come on, everybody can feel it slipping away.
Yeah, well, and I think the unnerving thing, right, is like this team swung for the fences at the trade deadline too.
Oh, geez, yeah, good point.
2 first-round picks for Sauce Gardner. We're going to empty the chamber. Daniel Jones is the guy. Well, now Daniel Jones is the turnover started coming, and he's broke his leg, and he's playing with a broken leg. And you give all the credit in the world for like the toughness that's required to play through that, but I mean, they scored 20 points. We talked about how many points the Colts have scored this season. They scored 20 points or less in these 3 losses in this 4-game stretch. And they're fortunate that they won the game that they won in overtime against Atlanta.
Yeah.
Because that was on the doorstep of a loss. And Jonathan Taylor hits a home run in the 4th quarter, and then you get a couple bounces of the ball, and you go to overtime and you walk them off. So, and 3 of the last 5 on the road for Indy. So my confidence level, if I were a Colts fan, would be very low right now. And this is kind of that turn in the season where, okay, we started really hot. The question was always, how far can we stretch it before everybody kind of gets caught up to what we're doing? Can we stay ahead of it? So I think this is now your swing point and the defining point of your season, because I would not be surprised if we wake up on New Year's Eve and the Colts are 8-8, but they could very easily be 11-5 based on their full body of work this season. You don't have a lot of time to solve problems. And I think it's a little unnerving that you came out of the bye and you've lost both these games and you gave up 500 yards of offense to the Chiefs in the process. And then obviously Houston's defense did what it did. And you're sitting here looking at that Week 18 game knowing you got to go to Houston now and face that defense again.
It could be for the division. That's the other side of this. Houston, the Colts and some of their slip-ups, but it's Houston, and they're coming. They've won 4 in a row, man. 5 of 6. The defense looks lights out. C.J. Stroud, obviously his first game in a while, some highs and lows there.
Mm-hmm.
But, man, they get home games against the Cardinals and Raiders, dude. And they get the Colts at the end of the season at home.
This is a 10-win team at a minimum, this team.
Oh, for sure. And the type of defense that's going to give them a chance no matter what. And, after we're watching the league, right, I don't think there's a possible outcome that would surprise me in any game, to be honest with you, right? It's as parity-filled as I've ever seen it. And if you're Houston and you can rely on this defense, boy, you got a heck of a chance.
And the two offenses, going back to week 2, there's been 2 offenses in the NFL that have gone over 300 yards of total offenses against the Bucs or against the Texans. And it's the Bills and it's the Seahawks. And the Texans defense forced 7 combined turnovers in those 2 games in exchange for giving up more than 300 yards of offense.
What do you do?
It is an unreal group, man.
And that's the offense. I don't think you want to turtle up and be not aggressive, but there's no pressure. You should never feel any pressure to force anything. Take care of the football, and you're going to have a real shot to win every game.
Yeah. So
what about Jacksonville? Where are you at on that?
I like Jacksonville, and I like that they came out and played this game, and it was what you hoped it would be, right? Where we looked a little rickety offensively, and we had 4 turnovers the previous week and eking out the win in overtime against the Cardinals. Okay, no, we're going to win the turnover battle. We're going to play good defense. We're going to secure a win and do so comfortably against a bad team, right? And that's what they did against the Titans in Tennessee. They've got another matchup there. And for Jacksonville, really, I think the opportunistic part for them is they've got the matchups with the Colts, but then they've got the Jets and the Titans left on the schedule again. Yeah. There's going to be 2 teams that I feel very confident are going to have double-digit wins in the AFC South when it's all said and done, and neither one of them are named the Colts.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of it's based on the schedule. But the thing I'm most concerned about if I'm looking at each one of these 3 teams is you're 3/4 of the way through the season now, and teams have watched how the Colts have played, and Daniel Jones is banged up, and the pressure regression and the reaction to pressure has regressed so severely. And these other 2 teams with these matchups left against the Colts, because the Colts have 3 games left against these 2 teams, they can all kind of get after you and pressure the quarterback.
Sneak the Falcons and Jets in here real quick. The Jets get their 3rd win of the season. We had this one, right? This was the money line. I kind of talked about it a few times on our FanDuel reads. Hope you got in on that action. This felt like one they can handle. A.D. Mitchell, man, I can't promise you he's always going to catch the ball, but I can promise you he's going to run some really good routes and get open. Such a unique skill set for his size. And Tyrod, I think, gave him a chance to win the game. They big throw to who was that guy late in the game on the corner route, right? Yeah, was that Mitchell? Yeah, it was Mitchell. Yeah, it was Mitchell. And Nick Folk with the ultimate knuckleball game-winning field goal from super far. He's so old, but he's so reliable. The Jets kind of win the game, I think, in kind of the way they needed to. But I think wins like this, I think, are important for the Jets and kind of their direction under Aaron Glenn.
Yeah, because that's what this year's all about, right? Is instilling buy-in in the culture.
Yeah,
and it's we move on from some players, we make a quarterback change. They're going to be a team that's going to play. I think they're going to be well positioned to play their rear ends off every game they have left on the schedule. It's, do you beat yourself? And do you allow them to hang in late? And I think if you don't do those things against the Jets with the state of affairs of their roster, you'll probably win the game at the end of the game. But if you allow them to hang around and you make mistakes, this is the team that will spoil your season. And for Atlanta, it's the wheels are falling off the bus here.
Yeah,
we're 4-8 now. And obviously we don't have Drake London, and David Sills is catching touchdown passes. That's kind of the state of affairs.
Hey, look at him, man. He's sticking in there, baby.
Yep.
Davis got your first touchdown catch of his career a couple weeks ago. I didn't know he was still cooking, man. Now he's got a couple.
But, Atlanta goes 4-12 on third downs. They lose the turnover battle. They outgain the Jets by 120 yards. It was a game, right? They moved the ball. They made the mistakes. Can't happen. And they gave up the explosive play, right? The 52-yard completion to A.D. Mitchell. The Jets didn't have another reception that went for more than 15 yards. I mean, we had Breece Hall went 2 for 8. Mason Taylor went 2 for 21. Jeremy Ruckert went 2 for 12. Alan Lazard went 1 for 10. And John Mechie went 4 for 19. Those are your contributions in the passing game in New York, not Adonai Mitchell in this game.
All right. We will get to more here on the other side of it, including the Steelers. Yikes. We'll hit that one and all the rest on the other side of it. Folks, be sure to stick with us. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. The holiday season is one of the best times for sports, bowl games, big basketball matchups, playoff pushes. It's all happening at once. And while we're all making choices every day, one of the most fun places to make the right call is Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the easiest way to get in on daily fantasy. You just pick more or less on at least 2-player projections, lock in your lineup, and you're in the game. It's simple, it's fast, and it's available in 45 states, including California, Texas, Florida, and Georgia. Prize Picks has an extra layer of excitement to the holiday sports schedule. You could create a lineup in less than a minute, and the app makes everything super smooth and intuitive. And I love that you can choose from a huge range of different unique stats, including fantasy score, field goals attempted, free throws made, turnovers, whatever fits your strategy. And how about the early payout feature? That's a great bonus. When your lineup starts strong, you can get the option to cash out early. And I love that deposits and withdrawals are quick and easy. It keeps everything flowing. So download the Prize Picks app today and use code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
We got a lot of work to do, Joe Marino.
Yeah, lot to do.
So how much are we getting into the holiday games?
they feel like 100 years ago, but they were all really meaningful, right?
Right? Like none of them particularly compelling as far as like the ways that the games played out per se. But
maybe we could do some phrase association to blitz everything once we talk Steelers. Kyle wanted to talk Steelers. That was
I did, because this offseason for Pittsburgh is how uncharacteristic of Pittsburgh, right? We're acquiring guys, we're getting guys in free agency, we're trading for guys and giving them market contracts, and we bring in DK Metcalf, we bring in Aaron Rodgers, we bring in Jalen Ramsey, we bring in Jonnu Smith. Aaron Rodgers is bodying Jonnu Smith in the post-game presser in this game because Jonnu didn't run the right route adjustment.
He's a professional, so he's upset about it.
Yeah, he's feeling bad about it. And Jonnu's not feeling too sorry for himself with that contract that Pittsburgh gave him with an extension after trading for him before he played it down for the team, which is very uncharacteristic Pittsburgh. Like, the whole thing it felt lazy. Let's go get a bunch of guys. And now this roster infrastructure is older. You paid a bunch of guys to come in, and look, like we had like the TJ Watt contract issue. We had the Cam Hayward contract issue.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's got the handout, and like, I am so pro players, like maximizing your window, and I get it. But like, all of this starts happening when you as a team trade for DK and pay him a contract before he plays it down for you, which is like, Pittsburgh never does that. And now you're in this spot where it's a grand chemistry experiment that started well, but as this season has gone on, this experience has gotten worse. And, you're worried about guys holding up through the end of the season, and Rodgers breaks his wrist, and he's 40-something years old. You got Baltimore twice.
His birthday's tomorrow. His birthday's tomorrow, by the way. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Baltimore twice, Cleveland defense, at Detroit, and Miami, who's heating up opposing quarterbacks right now. Like, I'd be real nervous. And if I were a Pittsburgh fan, I'd be pretty ticked off that they took the low-hanging fruit to try to go swing and got everybody excited, and it was so out of character. But, like, more often than not, the teams that go about their business doing an offseason like this is usually how it goes. Remember, like, the Eagles' dream team? Remember the Eagles' dream team?
Sure do.
This is a catastrophic season, right? Too many different
Washington
players
did that one year.
Different places. Miami did it last year. 1-year contract mercenaries and guys that wanted to go to a convenient spot they thought could compete. This happens all the time. I don't know why we're surprised that this team's now 6-6.
If you sign up for Aaron Rodgers at this point, you get what you deserve. That was,
and he made him wait until June.
Yeah, he held him. He held him
hostage.
It's an insane situation. Yeah, Pittsburgh needs an organizational reset and a big flush, right? Like a big time hard reset. Like it's going to be bad for a little bit before it gets better, but that's got to be better than this flirting with 9 or 10 wins and getting bounced in the playoffs. That's been their cycle. But I think there's a lot of expired pieces of their team. I think they got themselves in huge trouble with their offseason. And especially, we all watched the Ravens lose on Thursday to the Bengals. It all went away. You were leading the division by 4 games. It all went away, and you had the chance to get it back. And you got smoked by the Bills. You lost by 3 scores. You couldn't stop the run. The Bills just ran duo over and over and over again. They spotted you. They gave you 2 giveaways in the first half. Like the things that the Bills do to unravel this year, they did. And then you couldn't finish. You did the silly thing. You had the strip sack to open the second half. And then 4 plays later, you throw an interception and you lose the game. And so, I don't see it with Pittsburgh. They need a hard reset.
Yeah. And I think it's coming because I don't see this season ending well for them. And I know that they've always had their standard, and law of averages for Tomlin's entire body work says they're going to win 3 games and finish 9-8. Right. But
who cares? 9-8's not, you're not getting in 9-8.
Even if it does. Right. And that was that conversation started last year, and another year of it with how you emptied the tank to go out and pay a bunch of cash and extend a bunch of guys and bring new guys in. This can't be what you have to show for it. So if Pittsburgh, who's gone from 4-1 to 6-6, if they're going to get through this, like, they got to get hot now. It has to happen.
They're not going to. You hear the way they talk. They're dejected. There's no energy. Yeah, they don't have it. They don't have it. Phrase association, Kyle?
Yeah.
Packers.
Because we don't do word association because I know better than to expect a single word from Joe.
Can't do it. Yeah.
Do a word and then we get 6.
You got to coach around my limitations. You know what I mean? Got to put me in a position to be
successful.
Players in
positions to be successful. That's right.
Yeah, we're not the Steelers, you know. So the Lions take an L. Boy, a tough loss. Packers sweep the Lions this year. Phrase association. And Frank Ragnow unretires, and then he can't click.
And then re-retires because he's got a hamstring.
You didn't know?
Maybe it happened as he was ramping up.
I would like to think that's the case. He didn't show up with a grade 3 hamstring.
Yeah.
Okay.
Matt LaFleur, keep it up. Right? I appreciated the aggression to win the game. They had a great play call on that 4th down where they catch cover 1 man. They get an inside release. You got a ton of grass to work. They kept the tight end and the back in to protect. So that number 3 running across the middle of the field from Brian Branch, Dontavian Wicks, he had a ton of grass to run to and made the play. It was a perfect throw from Jordan Love. Detroit got the pressure they needed to disrupt it, and Love just made a great play. So your process, I think, is rewarded. Do not give the ball back to Detroit and leave it to chance.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Dan Campbell, your process has not been rewarded in several games. For their last 7 4th down tries.
You know what? Some of those, it's like they get down on them, but like I'm watching a guy not catch the ball. It hits him right in the belly.
Yeah.
Just catch the ball, man. Like
they're not executing, right? For whatever reason,
they're
not executing. It's hurting the team. The Chiefs lose to Dallas in Dallas. Big win for Dallas. They're coming, right?
Look out for Dallas. That's my phrase.
Players back on defense.
Cowboys.
Logan Wilson, Quinnen Williams. Come on now. Trayvon Diggs is
look out for
his
Dallas.
window. Pickens.
Because they got Dallas has 6 wins. They got Vikings, Chargers at home, at Commanders, at Giants are 4 of their last 5.
Boy, they're going to win all 4.
They also have at Detroit this week on Thursday.
Jerry Jones with the in-season moves.
But I don't think that's going to be enough to make the playoffs because we just got done talking about the NFC West. And I don't think 10 wins for Detroit at 10 or for Dallas at 10-6-1. I don't think that would get you in.
Maybe they hunt down the Eagles.
Ooh,
we'll get to that one. Let's finish out Thanksgiving. Joe Burrow, 32, the Ravens, 14.
Lamar's a problem right now. That's my phrase.
Is it just health? I think he just doesn't look right to me in terms of movement skills. Accuracy's not there. What's up, man?
I think that whole offense is stale, right? It's for all of the infusion that you got when Todd Monken came in, it just doesn't feel like it's clicking for you right now. And Lamar is banged up. And I think those two things. Now, I think what's interesting is, was it Gerald McCoy? He was talking about some of these quarterbacks and their play style and when kind of the wall hits. And he's talking about Lamar in year, 7, 8 at this stage. I think that's what I'd be a little leery about that if I'm Baltimore, because we've been talking about contract extension time, right? And it's like, man, this is not the best year for you to be banged up and not look like yourself, because it's going to be in the back of everybody's minds in these contract talks.
Yeah. You buying Bengals? Burrow?
Defense is still bad.
It's playing a lot better, though, since the bye. They gave up 1,100 yards in the 2 games before the bye against not that great of teams, and they've been decent coming out.
We'll see. Let me give you a few. Bears, Eagles.
Bears keep winning. They just keep winning. They're number 1 seed in the NFC.
Somebody in my mentions asked if we were going to pay our respects to the Bears. He said Joe's been very disrespectful to Chicago this season.
I mean, I respect that they keep winning. I don't think their process is good. I don't think they're a legit Super Bowl contender.
How about the way they ran the ball, though? Against
they have run the ball all year long, and I think that's really, really critical. If they can
kick Philly in the teeth.
Yeah, they can do it. It's important.
Dolphins, Saints. Dolphins 21, Saints 17.
Unnecessarily dramatic. Is that probably the right way to say it?
Yes,
I turned the game off. I said, who cares? They're up to 2-score lead at halftime. This is an interesting whatever. The Dolphins are going to win. And then I'm like, oh, Chris Olave let it go right through his damn hands there at the end.
Yes, he did. And I would have not wanted to see Miami try to mount a final minute scoring drive to win that football game.
Yo, the Minka, what do you even call that? A
pick two.
The Minka pick 2
won the game because they would have probably kicked the field goal and won the game on a walk-off.
Right.
That's probably what would have happened. The Seahawks, Vikings.
Can't go to war with Max Prosmer. It's also the worst. You see, it's the worst DVO game in Vikings history on defense.
Chargers, Raiders.
The Raiders stink.
And the Broncos, Commanders.
Mariota put it all out there. Kind of got hosed there at the end with some calls, but the Broncos keep winning.
Keep finding ways to win games. Make it interesting. That's going to do it for us here today on the show. Kyle Crabbs, Joe Marino, we appreciate you for checking out Locked On NFL Scouting. We will talk to you all again tomorrow.